In this episode of Fat Ride's Garage, I tackle my aprons. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode of Fat Ride's Garage, I'm going to be picking up where we left off last time, and that is, I'm going to confront the engine bay aprons attached to the imaginary shock towers. Yep, so let's have a look. So as I was pointing out last time, I want to make this particular part removable so that we're able to either do adjustments or fit or remove the upper control arm. And in doing that, that means that this can't be welded obviously, and it's going to need to be attached in some way. But if I left it as it was, then I have an exposed edge, the edge of this sheet metal, and I didn't really want that. So what I'm looking at doing is, first of all, that bit of gap there, I'm just going to hot glue a bit of steel in there. And then moving on, I'm looking at putting a border around the outside of this RHS so that it actually sits out a little further than where this is going to be seated, and therefore disguising this edge. In other words, you won't see the edge. And I was looking around, and I went down to Bunnings and I found this 10mm solid steel stock, obviously square, 10 by 10, and I was thinking, I think I could use that. It's maybe a little thicker than I wanted. I was thinking maybe something more along the lines of 5mm, but they just didn't have anything like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking at doing. Again, sort of like tack that there and then bend it around there and around there and up and over and down and around, and hopefully that'll do the trick. Well, I just have to wait and see, I guess. You know, anything's possible with a bit of grinding and a bit of welding and a bit of sweat and cursing, and well, you won't hear that part because there'll be music playing. So anyway, stick around and we'll see what happens. Well, that feels strange. Just had to reorganise the whole workshop and bring some cranes in because we're going to get the outside of the building painted. So yeah, suddenly she's feeling a little bit squished. But anyway, maybe it'll give us a good excuse to get onto these other cars. Anyway, back to the job. So I've got this this bit of box, no, it's not box section, square rod bent into shape. So I'm going to go ahead and just sand the paint off the edges there and put a bit of a chamfer on the inside of it, and I guess we can go ahead and tack her in place. That'd be the next step. Then I've got to do the other side, and then I'll have to actually trim the panel down, and I'll have to do it fairly accurately, otherwise it's going to not look good. But anyway, I'll get this tacked up and then we'll come back to you. Alright, so I've finished welding that piece of square bar on, and I've only welded it around the outside. I'm debating about whether I weld it on the inside or whether it really needs it. If I didn't weld it on the inside, then I'm assuming just epoxy it and then seam seal that inside edge. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, but then again, yeah, I don't know. I'll decide later. So what I've done is welded it all around the outside and then went over and just rounded off all the corners so that it's somewhat like the RHS. And then, so I went down to Clark Rubber and I found this seal which has it's like a adhesive on one side. Well, it's really double-sided tape, and I was just sort of like getting it as, to experiment with. So if that was to then be placed inside there like that, and then obviously the seal would go right around the outside, and I might even have 2 rows of seal, but then the question is going to be how I attach it. And what I was thinking of was actually attaching it from that side. So basically either using like a speed nut, which Xavian suggested, or the other one would be either like a dome headed nut or a nylock nut. I don't know. Anyone's got any suggestions, throw them in the comments. But I think what I wanted to try to achieve was to originally I was going to put the bolts around it because I thought, you know, might sort of give it that real engineered look, but then And I was thinking, no, if I could hide the bolts, then it might be even more interesting. So that's what we're looking at. So if I was to bolt it, then maybe I'd have like a little bracket in each corner, down here, up here, maybe one in the middle, just like pop out like that with a hole in it. And on this side, weld some bolts to the back of the plate, and then just insert as needed. And yeah, anyway, I'm sure you get the drift, and if you don't, you can always ask. But no, don't ask, you get it. It's all good. Yeah, so that's the idea. And obviously with the seal on it, she'll have a certain amount of spring, so you'll sort of like, you know, screw it in, and then that's it. And then obviously that gives me what I wanted to achieve, which is, if I needed to remove the upper control arm or install the upper control arm, take that off, do all the work on the suspension, put that back on. Same goes for, I guess, if I was going to get a wheel alignment, I'll probably take these off, take it in, and that'll give the guys, you know, perfect access to this rather than having to sort of squeeze their hands down beside the engine. So yeah, I think it's an idea. I think it's better than no idea. So we'll carry on, and we'll jump over to this side. We'll go ahead and we'll whack them together. Alright guys, that's about it for this side. I was going to jump over onto the other side and start that one, welding the edge on and all that sort of stuff. But I got to thinking maybe I should just finish this side and see how I felt about it. And so that's where I'm up to right now, and I'm not sure. So I'm going to sort of put it out there for you guys to give me your opinion. leave it in the comments below and let us know what you think about it. So basically what we've got here is this whole panel, as you can see with the little Allen key bolts, has been made to be removed. Reason being that when we want to do work on the suspension or take the upper control arm on or off, we can remove this cover, and then we've got full access through this whole opening, which is a fairly big opening. The pluses are that yes, we can work on the suspension, it'll be good for doing wheel alignment, good for assembling the engine, putting the extractors on, all of that sort of stuff, because you have so much access through this opening. The downside is, I'm not sure if I like the look of it or not. Part of me likes it because it likes all of that sort of, you know, studded look, you know, sort of an aircraft kind of a look, but I'm just not sure, does it go with the theme of the car? Will you notice it as much when the engine's in here and the engine bay's full? I don't know. That's what you guys are going to have to do. Leave us a comment. The alternative is, if we have a look at this side here, as you can see, I haven't done anything to it. I've just simply put the panel on as it was, and I've tried to figure out how much room do I need to be able to remove that upper control arm. That is, unbolt it and then pass it back through. That's what the dotted line is. So if I, for example, cut this panel off here and removed it, there would be enough space between the panel and the top of the cross member to bring the control arm up over it and then take it out while not having to remove this. So how would I do it? I don't know. Maybe somebody can leave some suggestions, but what I'm thinking is that I cut along the, that's if I do it this way. I'm not saying I'm going to do it this way, but if I did, cut along the dotted line and then add a piece of steel underneath this one so that you had like a I don't know what to call it, a flap, something like that, and then maybe have some studs welded on the bottom side of this, you know, pointing down into towards the suspension, and so that when that flap tucked up under there, it'd have holes drilled in it. They would go over the little threaded studs, and you could put little nuts on from underneath. So all that you saw from up here is a join. You just see the line of a join. So do we do it like that, or do we do it like that? You can have that or that, but not quite that, because that's not finished. But yeah, so this would be all welded and blended in, so that this whole thing would be organic and smooth, and you know, it would flow around and do stuff like that, you know. Or you can have it like that, which would still probably look fairly good, but I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Can you say something? Can you speak up and give me some advice or something? I mean, throw me a bone. Give me some help, will you? I don't know. My only worry about this is that if I do it this way, that essentially this is the only thing that looks like this in the whole car, which might make it stand out too much. And then again, you know, I could go, all right, I'll grab these little black Allen keys and I'll start putting them everywhere else. But what's the, you know, the sense? I don't know. So that's about it. We'll end we might as well say that's the video for this week. We'll end it there, but yeah, put it in the comments below, let us know what you think, and thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to buy lots of t-shirts, and we'll catch you next time.